Alright, today we're going to take a look at the Lost Solo by Avenged Sevenfold off the self-titled album. This guitar's in drop D. Let's go. So we're going to start off with this little arpeggio sequence. It's going to be best played with alternate picking. So we're going to go from the first string down, 13, 13, 10. Then we're going to go back to the second string and go downwards again, 13, 12, 10, 12. You can also roll those 13s if you want. Alright, then we're going to do this little legato sequence. So starting on the G string, 14, 15, 17, then you go 15, 17, 18 on B, and then 15, 17, 18 on E, and then you end on the 17th fret on E. So then going back to the 15th fret, still on the first string, you pull off 15, 13, 12. And then you do this. So once you pull off to the 12th fret, you go back to 13 and 12, and then slide to 15. Make sure you get some good vibrato on these notes. Okay, so we're going to move on to another melodic idea, which goes like... So to start off with, that's 15, 17, 18 on the first string. You go 15 on E again, and then end on the B, 15. And then you go 17, 18 on B, 15 on B, and then 15 on G. You want to make sure you get the slide into that 15 there. And then that bend on the 17 has some nice vibrato to it. Then we go on to another little alternate picking segment, which goes like... It's 15 on the 4th string, and 17, 15 on the 3rd string, and then back to the 15 on the 4th string. You do the same thing again, but then 19, 15 on the 3rd string, so... And then we repeat the same 3 notes twice, which is going to be going from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string, 17, 15, 15. So no real tips there that I can give you other than just work on your alternate picking for that. It is tricky, especially going the last 2 segments, which are the... Okay, back up to the first string, we're going to the 15th fret. So that's 15, 13 on the E, and then 13 on the B. And then you do the same thing, 17, 13 on the E, and 13 on the B. So 15, 13 again on the E, 13 on the B, and then you end on 14 on the G. And then you end it all with this little 15, 15, 13, 12, going from the 4th string to the 5th string. I find it easier to roll that bit there on the 15s. So we jump back up to the 13th fret on the 1st string, and we do this. So that's 13, 12 on the E, 13 on the B, 15, 13, 12 going from the 1st to the 3rd strings. And do the same 13, 12, 13 again on E and B. And then you end with the 12th fret on the G. And this time the little tail on the lower strings is a bit more tricky. I'm going to go 14 on the 4th string, 15 on the A, and then 12 slide to 14 on the 4th string again. Just means that you have to be ready to play with your ring and your pinky finger after that little section at the top. Alright, next section's starting to get tricky. So we're going to go from, we ended here, and we're going to go 17 on the 4th string, and we're doing an arpeggio all the way up to the 1st string. So it's 17, 15, 15, and then 17 on the high E. And it's a bend and release, like a half step maybe. And you go back to the 15 on the B string, and you do a full bend on 18. And then you go 15, 18 on the B string. And now comes some legato fun. This section is a little bit tricky. 14, 15, 17 on G, 15, 17, 18 on B, and then 15, 17, 18 on E, and then you go back 17, 15. So get that down first. That's the start of it. And then we go on to this longer legato bit, which is going to be 15, 17, 18 on B, and then you go back 17, 15. You're going to do that same motion but slide it back to 13, 14, 15 on B still. So, and then you'll slide it back up to 15, 17, 18 and do the exact same thing. So and then from there we're going to go 15, 17, 18, 17, 15, all on the high E again. And then you move it up to 17, 18, 20. And then you go set 18, 20 again, and then you slide to 22. So I'll just do it slowly. Something like that. It can be tricky to get all those notes to ring out cleanly. Gotta have good strength in going forward and backwards. And the other thing is you're doing a motion where you end on the 15th fret on the high E, and then you have to start the next motion on the same fret on the B. It can be awkward to string jump like that, so while a little bit trickier, it would be good if you get used to rolling that. See how my index is like flat fingering both? But I'm rolling it in the sense where like there's not a lot of ring out between the two. Like, while you probably aren't seeing any movement there, I'm trying not to let the wrong string ring out when I'm not playing it. So once you get that sort of muting thing down, it can be a lot easier than going. That is a bit harder. Okay, so that's one of the tougher bits done. Good job for making it this far. So from there, after we've slid up to 22, we're going to do these pull-offs from 20, 18 to 17. And so this whole section is going to be a bit slidey, so essentially it's going to go slide back to 8, slide up to 13, and then back to 5. And then you end that with a slide back to the 15th fret and then 13th fret. So it's like 15 picked twice, and then you slide back to 13. So it's like the 15 and the 13 are being played twice each, but there's actually a slide in between there, so it's... And now the next bit's cool. You have to set up your fingers for this, so I like to use my ring and my middle. You can also use your middle and your index, I guess, but it can be a bit more awkward. So essentially what you're doing is 12 on the high E and then 12 on the G, but then you're going to slide up to 17 on the G and then hit the E string 17 again. So you kind of want to be having both notes ready to be fretted. So 12E, 12G, 17G, 17E, 17G, 17E, 15E. When I'm not thinking about it, it's definitely a bigger habit to go with these two fingers. But I feel like when you get up to the 17th fret, you're kind of angling funny, and then going back to 15 is a bit harder as well. If you do ring and middle, it's a lot easier, so just think about it in advance. However you do it, those are the notes. Next bit's fun, so it's going to be 13, 14, 15 on E, slide to 17, and then back to 15, and then 17 bend. Then after that, you go 15 on the B, and 15, 17, 18 on E. Slide to 20, and then back to 18, and then go 20, slide 22. So altogether, it's... And you do that same thing we did with the 15 and 13 with the double pick, slide, one pick, but you're doing it now 22 to 20. And then we're close to the end now. There's this really cool slidey bit, which I haven't really heard many other players do. It's very fun. It's you start off on the 10th fret on the B string, and then you're going to play 13th fret on the E. Now you're going to slide up to 17. And we're going to do the same thing now, but 13, 17, 20. So 13 on the B, 17 on the E, 20 on the E. So it goes like... So yeah, you're doing that sort of thing twice, and then on the second time you're ending it with a just an extra 17, 20, 17 slide. Now you do the same thing, but you're going back to 8 and 12 on the B and the E respectively, sliding up to 15, and then you go back to 5 and 8, sliding up to 12. So. And then this next one's a little bit tricky. I play it like this. So 11 on the B, 15 on the E, sliding up to 18. And then the next one down, it would be 7 on the G, and then 11 slide to 15 on the B. It's a bit of a hard jump though, and I'm not sure if that's how he plays it. So I actually like to play it with, instead of that 7 on the G, 12 on the Ds. So it's a lot easier in terms of not moving your hands too much across the fretboard, but it is a little bit trickier with the mind because you've been doing the same pattern a few times, but now it's going to be a little bit different with the string skip. And then when this thing resets, you're kind of moving your index finger back to a position where you weren't doing that in the previous runs. It's harder to explain, but you'll feel it when you play it. Now when you end here, you're in a great position to play the next lick, which is going to be 15, 17, 19 on G, 13, 15, 17 on B. And then you do another bend on 17 to end that, and then you go slide up to 20 and then back to 18. So. And now the final little ascending run. So it's just a pretty simple run up. So you go 13, 15, 17 on the 5th string, 14, 15, 17 on D, 14, 15, 17 on G, 15, 17, 18 on B, and then a little bit faster, 15, 17, 18 again, 15, 17 on E, and then when you hit the 18, you're full bending it. So after that we go 17, 15 full bend to match it, and then 13. So all together. And then to finish it all off. Which is just a 15 on the D, 14, 15 on the G, 13, 15, 16 on B, and then a bend. Be a little bit tricky with the 2 notes on the G string, but you should be alright. If that is too tricky with the 2 notes on the G string, you could always move the 13 on the B to the 17 on the G. And then you'll just have 15, 14, 15, 17, and then 15, 16 on B. There we go, that's Lost. Thanks for watching this one, guys, and I hope this made it easy to learn the solo. Let me know if there's anything else you want to learn in the comments. Cheers.